We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff in this little bonus episode, but if you only have time to listen to part of it, skip ahead to about minute 14. We're going to talk about stickers. The sticker thing, it's a big deal. I've been working on it for a long time, and I want you to know about the sticker thing. Minute 14. All right, Jeff, play the little song. Here you go.
Bonus episode of the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast. It's a bonus episode of the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast. Come on now.
Well, we got a bonus episode. This is the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast, but only mostly because it's different, because it's on a Saturday, because I've been wanting to talk with you about a whole bunch of stuff for quite a while, but I haven't wanted to jam it in at the end of every episode and clutter up the Esther series forever. So I figured I'd just catch you on a weekend and bring you up to speed on some stuff that I think is exciting and that affects you, and bring you up to speed on some stuff that's going on with me that I think is kind of fun, kind of interesting. I'm at a couple of interesting crossroads in terms of what I do with the internet and writing and doing the stuff that I do. So let me just start by saying that the most important thing about this conversation is that I am introducing a sticker system, and a whole bunch of you who didn't think that you were about to get stickers are about to get stickers, and they're rad, and there's a whole rationale behind it, and it's a whole thing. And I'm going to tell you more about that here in just a minute. But first, stuff that's going on with me. I'm getting ready to travel with my family, like crazy travel, like the big one, the one that we've been eyeballing and saving up credit card points for ages and ages, and monitoring flights and prices. And finally, after monitoring these numbers forever, Camilla woke me up one morning in the fall and was like, hey, I don't know why, but it's super cheap right now to fly to New Zealand from Rapid City, South Dakota, and we can afford it with all of our points. Should I do it? And I was like, I'm sleepy. Yes, yes, whatever. Cool, done. She locked it in. And now we've got this whole amazing family adventure planned that we paid for entirely with dumb credit card points. I'm super, super excited about it. And the kids are excited about it. And they're still in the age of wonder and enchantment. And I want them to see the world and be curious about things, and I want them to savor beauty and wonder, and I want them to see Christianity, Christian faith in other cultural contexts as well. And so I think it's just going to be rad. Also, I want to catch some trout on a fly line, and I want to see Lord of the Rings stuff. I understand that these are very, very cheesy, very, very typical first-time visitor to New Zealand agenda items, but I am what I am. I'm a simple man. I want fish and hobbits. I think we're going to have a nice time. But what this means is that I've got to kick it in the butt right now to get pretty much all of December knocked out. I mean, we're going to be back before Christmas, but what feels like all of December knocked out. So I've been going real hard. I've been down here in the basement working on stuff, reading, taking notes, filming stuff for the YouTube channel, lots and lots of things. Every year I do a big review of a bunch of study Bibles, and I've been working on that every day, all week. And I ran into a really interesting conundrum. I was going to do this thing that's going to be so clever, by the way, where I had this Reformation study Bible sitting next to the Catholic study Bible. And I thought I had the right Catholic study Bible to illustrate this point, but I got them, I set them there, and I wanted people to be watching the video and be like, oh, what's going to happen when he gets over to those two? It's going to be weird. I bet we're going to have a big fight. And then I was going to show everybody this Reformation study Bible and be like, look, even if you were a Catholic, you might roll your eyes at a few of these turns of phrases. You might be like, I don't agree exactly with that note. But overwhelmingly, yeah, it's a pretty good presentation of the Bible with helpful notes that help you get around the Bible and fill in some geography and history details here and there, and you could really use it and appreciate it. And then I was going to get out the Catholic Bible and say the same thing and be like, look at this. Like Protestants might look at the notes on this passage or that passage and be like, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I totally agree, but that's a really nice map of how far it is from Bethlehem to Jerusalem. And those cross-references, sure enough, they take you right to the other verses that come to mind when you're reading this passage over here. They get you to that passage over there. It's great. And then I was going to be like, look at that. There's a big shaded area on the Venn diagram between these historic creedal expressions of Christianity, and here's a visual reminder. But I totally forgot which Catholic study Bible it is that I'd worked with and looked at and that I liked. And I ordered in the wrong one to put it on camera, and I don't like the Catholic Bible I got at all. So now it just looks like another thing where it's like, well, sure enough, Protestant doesn't like the Catholic thing. Now we're in a big fight. So it's been an adventure trying to figure out how to tastefully criticize a Bible that really just from beginning to end, that Bible, I think, undermines the authority of the text. It really is just sort of a higher criticism Bible. Really, it's kind of Spinoza, Wellhausen, Bart Ehrman kind of theological liberalism woven throughout it. And it almost poo-poos and laughs at anybody who would think anything other than those really fashionable mid-20th century liberal assumptions about the Bible. By the way, don't think in terms of liberal, conservative, like political stuff. It's just it's a kind of a different spectrum when it comes to biblical scholarship. It's like, you get it. So at any rate, I just want to straight up say, I don't like a study Bible where all of the notes begin from the assumption that the document is deeply flawed and not at all what you've been told. And some of it's really problematic for me. They absolutely poo-poo the Mosaic authorship of the Pentateuch. Well, arguments could be made, I suppose, but it gets like one sentence in a 15-page article that's like, historically, many Christians have believed that Moses is the author of the Pentateuch. This is untenable. And then it goes into 15 more pages of other far more complex things, but I'm like, Jesus of Nazareth thought Moses was the author of the Pentateuch. The religion's named after him. He's right there on record. We want to suss this out, maybe even a little bit more. So it's been very interesting. The first time I've really run into this, I kind of painted myself into a corner here, trying to figure out how to talk about that. So I think the first part of that video will come out somewhere in the next 24 hours. I had to divide the video in half. So, hey, if you get bored, I would be very, very grateful if you would pull up and check out in the early going, by the way, if you're willing. It helps so much more if you pull up one of my videos right after I publish it than if you watch it 2 or 3 days down the road. It really helps to get that early traffic. But if you're willing, it'd be awesome if you go and check that out, and you can see me fidget and fumble and stutter. My son is on that too. He helps me out with that whole video. He does a good job. He's funny. So I've been working on that really hard. It's a very long way of saying that. I've been working on that video real hard, and I think I'm going to put out another video or two on the YouTube channel in December from where I went and visited a Carmelite monastery. Got a lot of work to do on that stuff. I'm getting close to being done. And then obviously I'm just maybe 1 or 2 sessions sitting down on a microphone away from finishing the series that you and I are working on right now in the Book of Esther, season 3 of the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast. That came fast. Chapters 7 and 8, it seems like, there's so much there that every couple verses or every verse takes a whole day to work through on average. Maybe it was even slower than that. I don't know. But then you get into chapter 9, and in my brain, I'm kind of pacing it the same way as I'm looking to the future. And then I actually get into it. I'm like, dang, no, this is flying. We're going to be done quick. So we've got, I don't know, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks left of Esther. And then we're just going to roll right into what is kind of the sequel, which is Ezra, Nehemiah. The way these books appear in order in the Bible, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther. It's sort of a nod to the fact historically that Ezra and Nehemiah they're one book that covers stuff that goes all the way back to Cyrus the Great and goes up to the rebuilding and dedication of the temple under Darius. So that's all, the 530s to the 5 teens BC. But then Ezra takes a big leap forward all the way into the middle of the 400s BC and runs through the end of the book of Ezra and rolls right into the beginning of the book of Nehemiah. But then in that time leap between whatever that is, Ezra 6 and Ezra 7. I think that's right. I don't know. We'll get it right when we actually do the program. But in that time leap, Esther sits right in there. So I don't know how you would put those in order if you were the one in charge of making up the order of the Bible, but that's how they did it. So really effectively, our next season, season 4, I mean, it's just to be continued. We're looking at how the story of Esther plays out and then what happens next. How does it all work out? And then we'll probably at the end of Nehemiah, we'll just run that as a historical survey all the way up to the time of Jesus. We'll have a couple of bonus weeks at the end there to really see how this trajectory of Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther rolls all the way into the religious setting and historical setting. I mean, come on, I'm not going to skip that, into which Jesus steps, into which we step as we get into Matthew, which was, of course, season 1. So it might seem like going Matthew to Esther, Ezra, Nehemiah is like just a weird random jump. But deep down, I've always thought of Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther as really the immediate backstory to the setting of the book of Matthew. So I'm pretty excited to round that out with this next season, with season 4. I was also really excited to send you all a field notes guide that you would have before we started. And I'm super disappointed that I think you're going to get it a little bit after the season starts. The printers I'm working with are super backed up. I'm very glad that they're doing well and that they have a lot of business. That is a good sign for everybody. And I care about them and I want them to do well. Also, I really come on, guys, you've had it for a long time. Could you please finish that up? And I think the way it's going to work out is that they're going to get those to me probably a couple days after I leave on this big adventure vacation with my family. And so I'm sorry for that. I want to apologize in advance. I mean, maybe they'll show up quicker than I expected, but I want to start readying your expectations that it's going to take an extra couple of weeks from what I thought, and hopefully you'll be able to kind of backfill some of the notes on Nehemiah. But here's why I'm bummed that those are going to come in just a little bit later than expected. It's because I view those field notes books as a marker stone, in a way, of what we're doing here. Every one of these seasons is a book that you and I are putting in our hip pocket. We are diving massively deeply into this cherished text to try to figure out what is there in all the weird little nooks and crannies. And we don't have to really appease anybody. There's no larger organization here. It's literally a guy in a basement. It's not even a nonprofit with a board. It's just a guy in the basement with a microphone. And if it makes sense to you, awesome. You can listen and enjoy it. We can do this together. If I become irritating or it doesn't make sense to you, then you can totally not. And that isn't even weird. It's the internet. There's no hard feelings at all. But this is your thing. This is our thing. This is us taking something that holds itself out as being serious and impactful and important and treating it like it's serious and impactful and important by not pretending to be something we're not taking a dishonest tone, but instead just coming at the thing with our own eyes and our own brains and using our own words that make sense to us to do our best to slowly, patiently, meticulously try to make sense of it. And then, for each of us, figure out what we do with it. So for me, a series like what we're wrapping up on Esther it's not just a waterfall podcast where we do it and then there we did a thing. Look at that. High five. For me, this is a meaningful chapter of my life that I've spent with Esther and with you. And I learned things and I changed. I'm different now than I was before we started this. And I'm going to continue to be different. And I think that deserves commemoration. I want something I can look at and hold that reminds me that we did this together, that I did this thing. And I want to feel that during and after each one of these seasons that we do together. And so I wanted you to have the book on the front end because I want you to write in the book and I want you to write dates in there so that you have some kind of journal or documentation of what this part of your process of faith and thought about the Bible, what that actually looks like. Hopefully it's close. But in that same line of thought, all the way back to the idea of the sticker thing that I was talking about earlier, I want there to be more than just a field notes book with words in it. I want art. I want something visual that can go anywhere that it makes sense for you, that can be stuck anywhere that you will see it and that will serve as a visual reminder for you of the ground that you have taken and the work that you have put in, because I think this is a real achievement. And so I have created the 10-Minute Bible Hour sticker system. I just tried that language out for the first time just now. I don't know quite how I feel about it, but that's more or less what it is. What I did is I went and I hired my friend Bethany, who's genius, just artistically spectacular. She did that Lulu the Beaver book that I showed you a while back. I mean, she's winning awards with that, and she's doing another one. She's great. Her art drips with empathy, but also it's all undergirded by theology. I mean, she listens to this. She is fascinated by the Bible, and so I mean, she's super qualified to make incredible, simple visual pieces of art that encapsulate the thematic stuff that rises to the surface from each of these books. And so I had her make one for Esther, and it's breathtaking. It's beautiful. It's a sticker. And the sticker kind of looks like a book of the Bible, or just like more like a notebook, really, like a cover of a book. And it says 10-Minute Bible Hour, a little down there on the bottom that says the name of the book, Esther, on kind of the spine, sort of, if you will. And then there's like the whole cover of this stylized book. And in it, you get this amazing artwork that depicts Esther and the poor. And so what she's doing there is evoking the relationship between what looks to some like fate, but what the savvy reader knows is actually the providence of God and the outworking of the providence of God on the life of this character who goes on a huge journey through the course of the book. And I just think it is such compelling art presented in such a beautiful and simple way. And it's small enough that it'll kind of go anywhere. And it kind of has a little bit of that feel of an award badge or a level up achievement unlocked kind of thing. Sometimes we use that language when we talk about working through books of the Bible. She's going to do one of these, or at least we have the blanks set up for one for every book of the Bible. I don't know how long I'm planning on living. Right now, I feel really, really healthy. I play a lot of tennis. I work out. So I was thinking we would just keep doing this for a really long time. I don't know if there's enough time in my life to go through the entire Bible, but dang it, it'd be all right with me if I did, because this is super meaningful to me. So I just figured, hey, if you're going through these with me, you should have something that sticks with you to mark that. See what I did there? I felt pretty good about it. And so the sticker system is what I'm going to do. Now, here's the thing. Every single one of you who's listening to this, thank you. You're awesome. I mean, this happens because people listen. I probably wouldn't do this just into the ether if there weren't you on the other side. The way I want to do it is, whereas most of the stuff we do here, it just sort of automatically goes to the patrons. And, you know, if you're not in a place, it just doesn't make sense to support the program. That's awesome. That isn't weird. But then you don't get the things. And for this, the sticker system, I think you need to have access to the things. So this is how I'm going to do it. There's going to be a white outline version of the sticker. If you finish a given season, and there will be one for every season, you can go and you can just buy that. I'll buy a stack of them. I'll have them here. I'll have my kids do fulfillment, or I'll pay somebody to do it. It probably won't be terribly efficient, but we'll make it so that it more or less pays for itself and offsets. And when it's time, you can just order the sticker, and then you get that sticker, let's say for Esther. Maybe you want to take that sticker and you want to put it on that cardstock part of the inside of your Bible, kind of like the award stickers that football players in college put on their helmets. You do that. Maybe you could put it right on the title page. It would fit really nicely here on my title page for the book of Esther on this Bible. You could put it there. That could indicate that you got it in your hip pocket. Maybe you got like a water bottle, or maybe you want to make some kind of, I don't know. You're really clever. You can put it somewhere in a way that reminds you of what you've accomplished and what you've done. If you're not a supporter of the program, which is awesome, and never feel obligated or weird, like you have to do that or something, you don't. But if you want to just buy one, there will be an option for that starting soon. And then we'll just send it to you and we'll figure out how we do fulfillment. Then there's going to be another version of the exact same sticker, but it's going to have that gold that I always use in all of my branding and everything, that TMBH gold, I call it. And that's going to be for anybody who is supporting the podcast at any level, in any way, on any platform at the time that we send those stickers out, which will be more or less at the end of each of these seasons, each of these books of the Bible. So if you're supporting in any way at all, then that's just it'll show up. If I have your address, you're getting it. I always inevitably get tons and tons of those back because I didn't have your address right, or I went off of an old one or something. So I always super appreciate it if you keep that up to date, because I like to send you stuff. I'll send that out to everybody who I have a correct address for. And whenever I actually put those in envelopes and send them out, whoever's supporting, boom, you're going to get one of those. I know some of you have done like a one-time thing during a season. We'll look back at that as well to try to make sure that you get one if you support it in that way also. But then there's going to be a third version of the sticker. And this one is for the small handful of people who have just gone ludicrously above and beyond, and I don't even really know what to do or what to say or how to communicate my gratitude. A lot of you don't even tell me who you are when you do that, and so I have no way to get a hold of you or say thank you. And thank you. I'm saying it now to those of you who you know who you are, have done silly things to encourage me and prop this thing up and make it happen. And I, it might not seem like the biggest deal ever, but this was something I thought would be kind of cool. I'm going to make a third version of all of these different kinds of stickers, and one of them is going to be all hologrammy, and it's going to be super limited edition. Nobody can buy the gold one, but really nobody can buy the hologrammy one. And to the handful of you who have supported in just remarkable above and beyond ways, I'm going to send you one of those super special collector edition hologram versions of those stickers. There's no hard cutoff or number on that. There won't be very many of those stickers, but yeah, that's what I got. And I hope you appreciate the spirit behind it, as what I want to communicate to all of you is twofold. One, hey, look at this. We're doing something that matters, and we're trying hard, and we're building it into our lives, and we're making it a part of our daily rhythm. And that matters. And then the other thing is I want some tangible way to say thank you and to say how much I appreciate all of you, those who listen, those who support, those who have done silly things in your support of the show, things that I don't totally understand but really appreciate. I just want all of you to know how very, very grateful I am, because I don't think I would have the discipline to put in the energy and the effort to the Bible that you have prompted in me simply by being interested in the same thing. I've cared about the Bible for a long time, thought about it, studied it, gone to school for it. This really matters to me. But the degree of intensity and focus with which I am around it right now is a result of you and your curiosity and your encouragement and your character. And I'm super grateful to you. And this is a small way for me to try to communicate that. Okay, so we get the field notes thing. I'm going to send that to you as soon as I possibly can. Included in that, I mean, if you're getting the field notes thing, you're also going to get the Esther sticker, because that means you were supporting during the Esther series. So that'll be coming your way. The gold outline one, a few of you are going to get that really cool, super limited edition hologram one. Thank you again. And then the final thing that I want to talk about is I got a problem with YouTube right now. Something weird is going on. I started my channel. I started working on it 10 years ago this fall. It's been live for going on 8. I don't remember how to count it exactly. And it's not a channel that's built to maximize views or to see how many people I can get to watch. I'm not trying to win the internet with that channel. I'm not trying to pay my bills with that channel. I'm trying to do stuff that is weird, that hopefully connects with a different group of people and tackles certain objections to faith, certain hurdles to growth or understanding. And I mean, it's a weird channel. I get that. That said, I don't know, something I did along the way has angered the algorithmic God. And finally, the algorithmic God straight up let me know that it is mad. I got a message from YouTube telling me in black and white letters, hey, there's something we don't like about your channel. We're not telling you what, but we are going to go ahead and throttle your ad revenue on that, which it's helpful, but it's not like other more legitimate YouTube channels make. And we're also going to throttle your impressions, which means how often we put it in front of people. So effectively, we're going to throttle your views. Well, of course, I reached out to him over that. I was like, hey, that seems weird. We've never had any issues before. I mean, it seems like we even get along pretty well. I went to some of your things, like you printed up stuff and said thank you to me. Like, seems like we're friendly. What the heck? And they're like, yeah, well, unfortunately, there's some inauthentic activity on your channel and some invalid traffic. And I was like, I don't think there's anything like that. I just publish things and then I go do other things. And then I check back in sometimes to see if it's working. I don't think there's anything like that. And they're like, well, there is. I was like, cool. Could you tell me specifically what inauthentic activity or what video is the offending video? And they're like, no, unfortunately we can't. You can fill out this form and they might tell you. So I filled out the form and that department didn't tell me either. It's very visible, I should say, in my little statistics and analytics corner of YouTube where I can go and look and see how everything's doing. It's very visible that my views and monetization are very throttled right now. I can see it visually on the graph. And so I reached back out a second time. I was like, hey, well, I guess this would be the third time. I was like, hey, it's still a thing. I just wanted to know like if it got better or if you could tell me now what it is that you don't like that is causing the problem. How, can I fix it? What are we doing? And straight up, they're like, no, it is still happening. You are definitely still, in the penalty box for something, but yeah, try to refrain from doing any of the following inauthentic activity things. I looked at the list again. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing any of that at all. Nothing whatsoever. And they're like, well, just don't do those things and it should get better. Like, come on, man. Like, you gotta give me something better than that. You're being a bad business partner right now. Like, come on, we work together. We're partners. What are you doing, YouTube? And so everybody was very polite. I don't have any problem with anybody I talked to, all nice people. It's just, it's how their system is built, I guess. And so apparently I did something wrong. It's not like ethical wrong, I don't think. There's nothing that looks like that. I'm not aware of anything like that. It's not like cheating the system or anything wrong. I don't do anything like that either. I wouldn't know how. But something the algorithm didn't like, something I said in a video or somebody reported something. I have no clue, literally no clue, other than I can see the results of their action, which is a pity. So I asked the dude that I was talking to, what should I do? He's like, well, you could not post for a while and wait till the issue clears up. And, we know you put a lot of work into your videos and then maybe let some months go by and then post later. Like, well, yeah, I know what happens when I do that. You guys kill me in the algorithm if I take time off. I can't do that. That doesn't make any sense. So just quit until maybe it imaginarily gets better, but I won't know. I mean, at that point, how could I tell the difference between being throttled and just having lost total momentum? That's dumb. I'm not going to do that. So option number 2 was keep publishing just like you are and just accept that we're not really going to put it in front of many people for the time being. That doesn't sound great. And the third option was just, you could just go make a new channel. Then you'd get an algorithmic fresh start. What? But I put a lot of work into this one and I like it. And it kind of tracks my journey of trying to figure stuff out like a normal person. It's kind of important. And at least to me, it is. I don't know. I'm in algorithmic purgatory with YouTube and I'm not totally sure what to do with it. But here's the crazy thing about that. I'm not just trying to whine about YouTube, though it was kind of fun. Thank you for letting me do it. The bigger issue is, you remember a few months ago when I was asking for help with editing? I don't know how much follow-up I gave you on that, but I heard from a ton of people and a ton of really talented people. I didn't get anything from anybody that stunk. It was, really nice edits on the stuff that I sent out for sample edits. Ultimately, I had to pick an editor and I picked somebody. I'm really impressed with him, really impressed just as a dude, as a talent. And we are making something super cool together. Like, I think the coolest stuff I've ever made, ever. We're taking all that Through the Bible stuff and we're formatting it to be, I think, just fantastically interesting visually so that I can do a YouTube series of just the summaries of the Bible, kind of like what we did, well, very much like what we did in season 2, Through the Bible, one book per day, but with robust visuals. I think it's so neat, and I don't care if it wins the internet or builds me an awesome YouTube channel. That isn't why I'm in this. It just isn't at all my concern, but I do want people to see it. So now I got this conundrum. Well, where do I put this stuff? Do I make a new channel? Do I just quit on the channel I have for 3 months and let it sit fallow and then maybe it'll be better later? I wish somebody would just give me an answer. So I'm having to make some decisions on that. But in the meantime, we're workshopping this really cool series that's going to happen over there. And I'm trying to make it so that all of this stuff intersects, so that the look and the feel and the branding and the art on the stickers and everything else, it all corresponds. And it all links together so that all of these things can be part of what you have access to mark your progress on these things as I mark my progress on these things. I'm really excited that series is coming up. I think it's going to be cool. I think you're going to find it fun and interesting and helpful and really shareable. I just don't know where I'm going to put it yet. So it's possible I'm going to come back to you here in a little while and be like, hey, would you all go subscribe to a YouTube channel and then watch the videos when they come out so we can try to build a new thing and make it work? It's possible that these will just go on my existing YouTube channel. I don't even know yet. Okay, that's all the stuff. I'm going to send out those Nehemiah Field Notes books along with the Esther sticker to everybody who supports at any way on any platform as soon as I physically have those in my hands. So those are coming absolutely as soon as possible. The sticker thing, I'll talk about that a little bit more on the podcast just quickly, but there's the whole big explanation on that. Many of you often reach out and ask, which I think is just the coolest, nicest, classiest thing ever. And so in answer to the question that many of you have asked, how you doing, man? How you holding up? The answer is I'm doing really well. And it's a great time with my family. The silly little YouTube thing is kind of funny to talk about and try to mentally workshop with you, but that's not even particularly discouraging. I'm more excited about what I'm making than whether the algorithm makes any sense to me or not. Stuff is awesome. I love doing this. Esther has been a blast. I can't wait to get started on season 4, which for me is probably just a few days away. For you is probably a little bit further away from that. Yeah, just in general, I'm really excited about what we get to do together, and I'm really excited about what's going on with my wife and my kids and my friends and my church and stuff here at our little place in Rapid City, South Dakota. Okay, I think I covered everything. Thanks for hanging out with me. This is a little bit of a different one, but hey, Saturday bonus episode. Things happen. You never know what you're going to get. All right, I'll catch you all on Monday. I'm Matt. This is sort of the 10-Minute Bible Hour podcast. Let's do this again soon.